Welcome to our annual career fair. Today we have with us about 14, 15 different careers presenting in their profession. We are so excited to delve more into each and every career. And as we know, college and choosing the college and choosing your profession is an important part of the journey of your life. College, they say, can either make you or break you, so it's so important to choose a career that you don't choose it because your parents said you want, that they're pushing you to it, or this career makes money, but you choose it because you have a passion towards that career, and that career ultimately would lead to successes. So we hope as you become encountered with these different careers, that this can help you make the appropriate decision for yourself.
Hi guys. Does anyone here want to be an engineer? No. Do you know what type of engineering you want to be? Okay, so let me give you an idea of engineering in general and what I do specifically. Engineering, you can do, as you know, electrical, mechanical, civil. There are so many types of engineering, and they all connect somewhere in what I do, which is construction. So basically what I do, we're responsible for building buildings. Somebody wants to put a building up, you have a budget, you gotta stick with the budget, and you go through all the phases of building it. So, I'm a mechanical engineer. I tell everyone mechanical engineering, they think, oh, you fix cars, you fix airplanes. That's not true. I deal a lot with heating, cooling, air conditioning, all these different parts and pieces in a building that go in a building, and we own it and giving it to the owner when we're done part of the building. We give him an operating system or an operating facility, and that's part of it. So mechanical engineering is not specifically fixing cars or mechanical or mechanics of engines or stuff like that. But it can also be that. So it can be the heating and cooling, and it can be designing engines and airplanes and all the aerospace and aerodynamics. So it's very broad. Engineering is very, very broad. And that's why I wanted to connect it in construction. So in construction, again, we can have civil engineers, we can have mechanical engineers, and we can have electrical engineers, as well as architects, but I'll focus on engineering. So things I wish I knew before I go into engineering. So when you work for an organization, like most of you guys are gonna work really hard. All our community or cops work really hard and try to prove themselves. But to go into an organization and grow, it takes a lot more than just working hard. You need to have connections, you need to have relationships, and just to give you an idea, big corporations nowadays, they want to have more minorities, more women, more. They have it helps them grow when they have minorities in executive positions. So keep that in mind. It's more than just hard work. You need to work hard, have relations, have connections, and sometimes have personal relationships with executives and managers. Second thing I wish I knew, it's a very financially driven industry. And that's engineering in general. And what I mean by that, so if you're into, I want to help people, that's great, but engineering, you're not gonna really do that. Oh, I love animals, or I love environment, or I love, nature, that's great. But you're not gonna really do that. You're gonna be working for a firm, you're gonna be working to make money, save money, and provide value. So it's very financial driven. You're there to make more money for the company so that the company can grow and you can grow. Whether you're a designer or you're working for a general contractor, which is basically what I do. to build buildings and facilities. Third thing I wish I knew, when you start, you don't make a lot of money because you're fresh out of college, you're not providing the company or the firm or anyone with anything. So when do you grow? You start growing when you have experience. That being said, if you can avoid going to expensive schools, you have the chance now. Because you're gonna start and you're gonna find yourself in a position where, oh, I have 50, 60, 70, $100,000 of loans and I have to start repaying my loans and I'm making 50 grand, 60 grand. That's not gonna be fun. So keep in mind now, if you're gonna do engineering, you wanna make sure you're getting in a school that is not expensive, and that's gonna help you. From my experience, schools help, but you can get a good job if you go to an average school. Most of my friends went to average schools, they got good jobs for big companies. So if you can save money, think about that now. I went to City College, by the way. Mythbusters, you need to be good in math. You don't necessarily need to be good in math. You need to be better at problem solving, but no, I was okay in math. Most of my friends were okay in math. So no, you don't need to be, an A student in math. Second one, males are better engineers. That's not true. I have most of my coworkers within my department. Again, it's a male-dominant field. Construction and engineering is a male-dominant field, but my specific department, we have most of my coworkers are females, and they are very smart individuals, very hard workers. Third myth buster is engineering school is fun, and it's not fun. You're gonna work hard, you're gonna study a lot, and you're gonna have classes where you're gonna struggle and you need to put in extra hours and hours and homework and all of that. So best of luck. If you have any questions, my name is Francois. Thanks.
Hi guys, my name is Sarah. I'm going to be talking about interior design. So actually we work with a lot of engineers. So interior design is designing the inside of spaces. It's divided into two sections. You have residential and commercial. Residential, you're designing the inside of homes. Commercial, you're designing the inside of hotels, restaurants, more like public spaces, malls, things like that. I went to school at New York School of Interior Design. It's on the Upper East Side in the city. Three things I wish I knew before I went into interior design. It's studying interior design and working in the interior design field are very different. In school, you have the freedom to design anything you want. You have no restrictions. In the real world, you can't because things like budget or like what the client wants. So you're not as free to design what you want. The second thing is it has very long hours. It's typically a 9 to 5 job, but not really. If you have a deadline for a project, you're stuck in the office until 8 or 9. And it's not as glamorous as it seems. Everyone thinks it's super fun, super easy designing, but you actually end up dealing with a lot of things such as plumbing. I'm always on the phone with plumbers, like the toilet won't flush and the connection to the toilet and like P-traps and just things that you don't people think interior designing is picking like the colors of the pillows on the couch, but it's a lot more than that. And then Mythbusters, yeah, we're not picking out the colors of your couch, we're designing the actual space. You have to learn the computer programs, how to draw floor plans. It's a mix of like architecture / engineering / yeah, we do the fun stuff, but it all comes in the end. And then interior designers and interior decorators are not the same. Interior decorators are the ones that pick the colors of your pillows. Interior decoration is typically a 2-year program versus interior design is a 4-year program. And then yeah, interior design and fashion are not the same. A lot of people tend to think just design, they're all the same, but they're not. They're two different fields.
Hi guys, so my name is Olivia. I'm a doctor, and I know a lot of you already know what goes into medicine, but what you don't know, and what Michael already talked about as well, is maybe the process of how things happen. I just finished my residency last week, and I graduated high school back in 2007. So between 2007 until now, I've been training this whole time. But you don't feel like you're training because you start doing rotations and residency, and you're actually out there working with real patients. It's not like you're sitting in a classroom anymore. So I'm just gonna back up for a quick second to let you know what these words mean if you don't. I went to medical school. I did the combined program with Sophie Davis like Michael did, except now it's a whole different thing. And I'll let him answer more questions about that because the program's completely changed now. But I went to rotations, and ever since I started rotations, which are your third and your fourth year of medical school. So up until that point, you're doing classroom studying. Your third and your fourth year, and a lot of that is changing now. They want to put you guys out in the hospital and clinics earlier so that you start seeing patients earlier. But basically, that's the moment you're waiting for your entire life when you're on that track to become a doctor. You want to be out there with patients, and you want to be treating people, and you want to be helping people. Everyone asks you on your interview, why do you want to become a doctor? And everyone answers, I want to help people, which you can help people a lot of different ways, but this is the one moment we wait for. And then throughout your third and your fourth years of medical school, you get to decide what is it you like, because you get to do everything. You get to do surgery, pediatrics, you work with adults, you get to do everything. And that's the time to really go out of your way to do electives and things that you might not think you would like, but you would be surprised. And you would finish medical school, you would do your residency, which is training in the field that you choose to go into. Depending on which field you choose to go into, you would do that number of years in training. So I'm in internal medicine, that was 3 years of training. And then you finish and you start working, and you can further subspecialize by doing something called a fellowship. So that's kind of the track that you follow in medicine. So 3 things I wish I knew. You do have to take a lot of classes that will not feel relevant at all to being a doctor. Like, why do I need to do this and why do I need to do that? And you get to dissect animals, and it felt like the most irrelevant thing when I was younger in biology class. But they do lead up to the path that you're going towards. And once you make it past that thing that looks irrelevant to you at the moment, you get to study what you will be enjoying for the rest of your life. And there's a ton of exams. It doesn't end. Even after you're a licensed attending, that doesn't end. You take a board exam every 10 years, and now they're trying to actually change the rules and make it sooner. So that's one thing that doesn't end with school ending. And you won't always be on top of your class, and I know that that affected me for a long time because I was just always used to doing that in high school and college, and like all of a sudden you're not at top of your class, and that really shook me. But at the end of the day, you just keep working hard and you keep going, and you don't always have to be that A+ student, but you're trying to work towards a goal. Keep that goal in mind. You're trying to work towards something bigger than just grades in class, and I know someone already said that. And then some mythbusters, you have to be tough as stone in a career in medicine, and that's absolutely not true. I cry with my patients, I hold my patients' hands, I pray with my patients. You don't have to be tough. It actually comes off as being heartless because they're going through so much and you're not really responding to that. And again, a lot of people already touched on this. I'll be super rich as a doctor when I graduate medical school, and that's not true either. You have loans, you have debts to touch on, so you don't start making money right away. But again, if you're not going in this field for the money, if you're going in here because you actually love medicine, then it wouldn't really matter then.
All right, guys, morning. Today I'm going to talk to you about information technology. The nice thing about IT work is that there are so many different careers within IT. You can take it any way. You can do tech support, you can do software engineering, app development. What I did was I went to St. John's and I studied cybersecurity. Got my bachelor's after 4 years, and right now I'm working in a private company in Long Island. So a few of the things I wish I knew before entering IT. It requires a lot of patience and practice to master your craft. So depending on what you do, if you're learning how to write code, if you're learning how to build an app, it's gonna take a lot of time, even after you get your degree, to practice what you're doing, to get the code right, to understand the ideas behind the code. So expect to put in a lot of work in your studies. Next thing is you'll never know everything, and that's totally okay. So the thing about technology is every day you go on the news, there's a new phone, there's a new computer, there's a new this or that. So you're always going to be looking stuff up. There's always going to be something new. So you're never not going to be looking stuff up on Google, understanding how something new works, or even if it's something old, you don't fully understand how it works. Every single person I know that works in IT, they always have to Google something at least once or twice a day. Syntax is everything, meaning you have to be very particular about what you're doing in your work. I could say, at least for me, I'm spending about 25% of my day going over different lines of code and understanding what I typed wrong. Did I mess up a period, or I messed up one letter? So a lot of it is reviewing your past work and making sure everything's okay, and if there's any way you can fix it, how to do so. A few of the Mythbusters is that, especially for what I do in security, that it's kind of like what it looks like in the movies. If some guy opens a laptop, types a few keys, and he hacks the world. It's not how it works. It's never been how it works. It's kind of just a glamorized idea. I particularly think it's fun, but it does require, like I said before, a lot of patience and a lot of trial and error. Next Mythbuster is that a lot of people I know that I went to school, they think going to the biggest company in the world is the way to go. From what I've seen, people who work in smaller companies or companies that are just starting up, you get the most exposure and it's the best opportunity. It'll be hard in the beginning because you're not making as much money, but if you build yourself as a specialist and you build your craft, you'll be able to work your way up to those higher companies, or work for the police, or work for FBI, CIA, entities like that. And if you have more experience and they see you started from a lower company, they'll think you know your stuff a lot more. If you have any more questions, let me know. I'll be saying them down over here.
Thank you to all our professionals who took time from their schedule to speak to us about their careers. As you can see, there's so many different careers out there that are proven to be successful. In the end, whatever you choose to do, we wish you all the success, and may you do it to the glory of His holy name.